my cuzzo with the buzzo and the fresh cut.
Oh,
I see you with the fresh cut over there. What you
but I wake up
doing, man?
like this. Come on, bud.
You wake up with the fresh cut. You wake up freshly faded and stuff.
I mean, I'm trying to be like you.
Man, as you can see, man, I got no fade right
Come
now.
on, bud. You
As a
normally
matter
do
of fact,
that.
As a matter of fact, I didn't even take a shower yet today. I got to get on it, man. I still got my gym juices going. Can't
Nasty,
hear.
nasty, bud. Nasty. Come on.
Oh, I thought you couldn't hear me. Now I was like, oh,
I
wait,
was
what
like,
happened?
you don't shower. It's okay. Hey, you don't shower. Hey, be proud of it. Hey,
If
that's what this is about.
I know that you all are gonna want to wonder, what's been going on. Well, let me just tell you, we've been having technical difficulties. That seems to be the trend of this podcast. We always run into some kind of technical difficulty, but we always find a way through it, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, we're here. We're live and direct.
We're live and
Welcome.
direct and erect,
Welcome to
baby.
the Cuzzo. And we're in here. Like, subscribe to the
Like and
button.
subscribe.
The
As
button
always.
is the
Did
button
you say
high or low? I don't know. It's one of these. It's right
Did
here.
you
On the
just say to the butt? Whoa. Come on, man.
button. I said the button. Which one? Which way is the button? I don't know. Like, subscribe.
Turning me
Yeah.
on, man. I don't know. I don't even care at this point. I don't even care at this point. Hey, man. So man, there's a lot to really go over, man. And I don't know if we'll be able to go over it all within 45 minutes, but we'll try our best. But as you all know, it has been election week, and Joe Biden, has won the electoral votes. Now, I guess there's going to be some kind of contesting from the Republican side of things, from the Trump side of things. What are your thoughts on everything that unfolded last week, Cuzzo?
Yeah. I mean, man, roller coaster. But you know what? Let them contest. I mean, that's the beauty of this. A lot of times, when the margin is so far, like there's one person winning so much, the other side just says, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Congratulations, you won. But on this case, Trump's not going to do it. So you know what? Good. Let him contest it. Let it go to court. Let the lawsuits go forward. Let him do a recount on a couple states and see what happens, man. I'm all about a fair election, and Joe Biden is as well. And Joe Biden and his team is not going to say no to it. They're definitely going to want that, because at the end of the day, nobody wants anybody to say, oh, well, you didn't get to do this and you didn't get to do that. You know what? Let's do it. Get it out of the way, and then everybody can move forward.
A lot of people actually forgot that when Bush went against Al Gore, it actually took 43 days for them to announce a president, because Bush went to court to contest everything because there was some kind of foul play, in his opinion, going on, and he ended up winning. So, I guess Trump kind of wants to take that stance and go that route and see what happens. But what I think is funny is that Trump was really pushing for people to not be able to do mail-in ballots, and he was telling everybody, go vote in person, right? Everybody vote in person. And then he's all surprised that a majority of the mail-in ballots were blue. But his whole campaign was about don't do mail-in ballots. So everybody that did mail-in ballots happened to be blue, from what it seems.
Yeah. I mean, look, I mean, it is what it is, man. Look, the Democratic cities came through and voted, man. And even a lot of people that were Republican, even some I spoke with, they're switching sides, and they're no longer Republican. They're going to switch over to Democratic. So you know what, it happens, and vice versa. There's some people that were Democratic, they want to switch over to Republican, and that's what happens. And that's the beauty of this whole thing, man. And we'll let it play out and see what happens. And congratulations to the winner either way at the end of the day. But at least we know we went through every single step that can happen. So that way one side can't throw excuses out there, because at the end of the day, there ain't going to be no excuses to throw once everything, goes through the courts.
Yeah, I like this tweet that I saw online. There's a tweet by Donald Trump Jr., and he said, 70 million mad Republicans, not one city burnt down to the ground. And then somebody replied to him and said, your dad was legally voted out, not gunned down illegally by 3 policemen. What a great answer to that. I mean,
Wow.
because it's true.
Hey, the internet's undefeated for everything. So if
For
you put
everything.
something out there, if you put something out there, there's going to be somebody that's very smart that's going to come back with something that's going to make you go, oh man, should I have put that out there? And
Yeah.
that's one
Oh,
of them
yeah.
right there. I mean, there's a lot of smart people out there.
There is a lot of smart people out there, and that's why the internet will always remain undefeated. And also, the internet is the reason why we as a collective have been programming the artificial intelligence that will take over the world, baby. Just saying. But on other
I'm not
news,
saying.
because we can get really political every single podcast if we want to, but I don't want to personally. But it's just kind of what's happening in the world right now. Onto some other news. King Von, the Chicago rapper, was unexpectedly gunned down outside of a hookah bar in Atlanta last week. So on this podcast, I definitely want to give our condolences to King Von and his family, and shout out Chicago and everything they got going on. But that's super sad, and man, I do wish that people would just put down the guns for once. There's too much gun violence going on in the world, and especially with these young rappers, they are either killing each other with guns, or they're popping too many pills and passing that way. But that wasn't the case in this passing. And King Von, he was a really good up and coming artist. I mean, more than up and coming, I mean, his buzz was tremendous, and I was just personally getting into some of his music. What do you think about all that, Cuzzo?
Yeah, definitely. My condolences as well to the family. I mean, it is sad. It's very sad. When we grew up, you fought. If you had a disagreement, you fought. If you won, that was it, man. People move on and you catch that lick. But nowadays, everything's recorded. People don't want to lose. They don't want to look, a certain way. And when you put yourself out there, let's say, for example, if you are a rapper and you're putting the music out there that, you do, dwell in guns and gangs and all that. If you're fighting somebody else and they're doing the same thing, they might feel that they have to portray themselves a certain way because of the music that they're making, or else people are going to question them. Like, here's an example. 6ix9ine snitched on how many people? He's still walking around like nothing's happening, right?
Right.
People are going to say, well, wait a minute here. Let's just make up a rapper. Let's just say Laffy Taffy. Mm-hmm. DJ Laffy Taffy. I know there's nobody by that name. Let's just make that up, okay?
Probably is. I don't know.
Okay, well, probably. If it is, then it's not towards you. This is just a made-up name in my mind I just thought of, okay? Mm-hmm. So let's say that there's this artist. Oh, let's just say DJ Box. Okay, I'll just make that up because I'm looking at a box right now. Okay, so DJ Box constantly talks about guns all the time. If DJ Box gets in a fight, automatically people are going to be like, wait a minute, DJ Box talks about he carries a Glock on him every single day. It's on his hip, but DJ Box didn't pull out no Glock. Mm-hmm. So DJ Box was all talk, didn't pull out the Glock. I mean, so wait, that was a rap right there, wasn't it?
There was some bars right there.
Come on, what?
Those are some hidden bars right there. We're going to get the beat together. Hold on.
What's that beat? DJ Box didn't pull out the Glock. All he did was talk. Okay, anyway.
Pull out his cock.
Wait.
What? Whoa. What?
Oh.
All right, my bad.
All right. So here's the thing. People are going to question it. So if you're this gangster, rapper, and you're putting it out there and you don't do anything that you say in your songs, if you say in your songs, if somebody talks about you or somebody confronts you, you're going to pop them. If that confrontation happens and it's on video and you don't pop that person, mm-hmm. The internet is not going to let you live to see the light of day. They're going to be on your head.
I see what you're saying and where you're going.
In this person's mind, we don't know if he had that mentality to where he had to pull it out because he felt like
he had an image to live up to.
He had an image to live up to, or maybe was he scared? We don't know. I mean, in the heat of the moment, did he get nervous and felt like, oh man,
these guys are definitely going to pull out a gun?
These guys are definitely going to pull out a gun because that's what they talk about on their side. So we have to on our side. I don't know. Like, what is your take on it? Because I mean, honestly, either way it goes, a sad situation, and I don't wish this upon anybody. I wish they would have just knuckled up, and that's it. If your boy was getting beat up, you could have ran over, squared up with somebody, and fought, and then that would have probably been the end of it. It would have been on the internet, yes. Somebody would have got beat up, yes. Mm-hmm. But everybody still would have been alive, and nobody would have been in jail. So what's your take on it?
I mean, I definitely see what you're talking about, and I think that in a lot of ways, the guys that shot, or the guy that shot King Von, I mean, he probably definitely thought that him and his crew probably more than likely had straps on them, and they may have not. But according to everything that King Von, rapped about, all he rapped about was murdering people in his songs, and then these guys are also people who portray an image of being gangsters and thugs, and they probably also felt like they had an image to live up to. So I mean, it's definitely understandable to think that the guy that was shooting was really actually shooting, because he thought if he didn't, that these guys were going to shoot them. So I mean, that's that could have very well been a thought. And I
Yeah, because
mean,
what I mean, like I seen the video. What was the imminent threat? I mean, one person was getting beat up, but no guns were drawn at that particular moment, right? So,
right, there wasn't. No, there absolutely
what
wasn't.
was
I mean, it
the
was a pussy move, no doubt. It was a super pussy move. And I mean, I think that he was a pussy for pulling out a gun at all. But I'm just speaking from the aspect of what the guy that shot King Von and his manager or whatever. I'm not sure if it was the manager. There was somebody else shot as well. But I'm just trying to, think of what maybe that guy was possibly thinking. And that's probably what he was thinking. Like, these guys are gonna probably shoot us. So let me shoot before, they shoot us. And yes, I do think it was a pussy move. He shouldn't have done that. But that's just kind of the culture, the rap culture that these rappers live by, and it's unfortunate, yeah. But I mean, you can go down the line with you could blame a lot of people down the line. Like, you could blame the fans for supporting this kind of music, and for making this music popular, and for making all of these thugs and these gangsters want to make music and talk about things that they feel like they have to portray. Like, imagine if every rapper rapped about loving each other and loving life and all the great positive things that you can possibly make music about. You would never have these people shooting each other. But that's not the case, because that's not what all of these teenagers think is cool, and what all of these guys idolize and everything. Because a lot of these rappers, they're really popular because they rap about dangerous shit,
right?
and people like to get into dangerous music because they're listening to what they know they'll never really get into.
Well,
So
see,
they're
I was
listening. Go ahead.
no, you hit it right there. I was gonna say it's the outside looking in. So this is a glimpse into a world that a lot of people don't live. So
Mm-hmm,
they can listen to King Von music,
mm-hmm,
and they're gonna be like, wow, like because King Von would tell a story, kind of like Big L. That's
yeah,
exactly what it reminded me of. Big L
mm-hmm,
told stories. Remember the crap game?
yeah,
You
yeah, yeah,
know,
yeah. No,
yeah,
I definitely
told that whole
can
story.
see
I
it.
mean, me and you used to listen to Big L back in the day. I mean, he was a
Fucking
huge
love Big L,
yeah,
man.
exactly, but he was a huge inspiration for
So
me and
dope.
you. And he
Mm-hmm,
would tell the story and put you there
yeah,
when he was getting robbed, when they were coming after him, when he had to shoot somebody, when he called his boy. All this whole story, he put you through it. King Von's the same way. He'll take you on that car ride. You
yeah,
could be in your mind, you're in the passenger seat watching him drive with a Glock on his lap. The
mm-hmm,
girl, he's getting set up by a girl. All these different scenarios that King Von played out in his songs.
mm-hmm.
You were there in the passenger seat
Yeah, it
going
was
along with
dope.
this story.
It was really
It was
dope.
dope, man. He
Mm-hmm,
was very, very gifted, and it's sad that so many gifted people get taken out way before they're supposed to. But I do this to say this is that you're right. People from the outside who don't live on these blocks, who don't come from these particular parts of the area, they're intrigued by these stories
yeah,
because it's something that they don't get to see every day, only in movies. So
mm-hmm,
they listen to it, they get put into the scenario, and they love it. They eat it up. If King Von only rapped about marshmallows and campfires, nobody would listen to it.
nobody
They'd be
would listen
like,
to him.
"Oh, like
Yeah,
what is that?" Like it's nothing. But to be immersed into a world, kind of like when you play Grand Theft Auto. Do people play Grand Theft Auto and take the car and come to a stoplight? When it's red. No, you fly through
absolutely
and
not.
you don't follow no, sorry, because it's fun, right? You do things that you normally couldn't do.
Yeah.
You run over people, you run from the cops, you do things that normally in real life it ain't gonna happen.
And
You
see,
rob a bank.
the guy that shot King Von, he was a part of the entourage of another rapper named Quando Rondo, who is the more popular guy of the group, and he was probably not only shooting out of fear, but he was probably trying to like prove himself to his homies type of thing, you know,
Right.
which is, also a pussy move, man. So, I mean, all in all, you know, my condolences once again to King Von. And man, this stuff, I mean, I want to say it has to stop, but I mean, it's going to take a lot more than that. I mean, these guys are, I mean, the culture is just going to have to change all the way. It's going to have to do a 360 flip for things to really change in the rap world, in my opinion. People got to stop
Yeah, I mean,
idolizing that kind
how
of.
they have like, sorry, there was a
Go
delay.
ahead.
I didn't know you were still
Go ahead.
talking.
Go ahead.
Almost, know how they have like celebrity boxing.
Mhm.
If there's a way when people are beefing with each other, do you know how many people would love to pay to watch two people that they really feel, go at it, put the gloves on and go
Mhm.
at it, and then
Mhm.
you could tune into it on YouTube and $5 donation, and that goes towards ending violence
Mhm.
or going out into communities for programs and stuff for kids. These type of things can happen. And I really feel like hopefully one day we can get to this where people are going to say, you know what, man, I got a problem with you, but guess what, bro? We're going to lace up the gloves. We're going to do this. And then the money's going to go towards this cause that I wanted to go towards. And then split the money and the other half can go towards your cause.
The problem
I,
is that a majority of these guys really don't know how to fight. Like, you take an average person who thinks they're a gangster, right? They've only been in regular street fights, maybe a few in their life, maybe like a handful, right? And then you take somebody who's been training in boxing. Let's say not even like a pro fighter. Like, let's say somebody's been training in boxing for 3 months. I bet you that person who's been training in boxing for 3 months will kick the person who has a handful of street fights ass. You know, so you
right.
take two
What?
rappers who are beefing and you put them in the ring. One of them is going to probably get embarrassed, and nobody wants to be embarrassed in front of the world. So I think that is why shit like that doesn't happen. Celebrity boxing matches and whatnot. That's why the Chris Brown and Soldier Boy one never happens. Everybody wanted to see it. Everybody would have
Happened.
paid for pay-per-view, but
Oh,
everybody knew Chris Brown with his back doing backflip ass. He would have sent Soldier Boy on a backflip.
hey, so okay, here's the thing. You know the dude, the one that dresses up in the like he plays his character, but he walks around the streets and he tries to really stop crime that's out there. You know who I'm talking
He's an
about, right?
MMA fighter. Yeah.
Yes, Duke could really fight. So where he's at, I don't remember which city it is, but where he's at, it's actually from the information I've been getting from people, because I said, wait, how can this happen? Because there's always cops there when he's fighting somebody, like 9 times out of 10. They have this law, and the law is you can fight another person, but you both have to agree to fight each other. So if me and you have a problem, I got to say, hey, Guzzo, I want to fight you. And
Mm-hmm.
then you could say no, and then that's it, it's dropped. Or you could say yes, then the
Then you
police
get
officer called
squabble.
in. You could squabble in front of a cop. The minute you fall on the ground, fight's over. You have to walk away. If you hit the person when they fall on the ground, it's a felony. This has saved so many problems because people don't just fight anymore in those areas. They literally have to ask permission to fight. Then they got to have somebody there to make sure the fight, once it drops on the ground, that's it, it's over, or else you'll be arrested. I think that's dope.
That
I
is
think
dope.
if there's a problem, if you guys are at the club and there's a problem, you both can say, you know what, let's go right outside the club right now and handle it. Well, one on one, and that's it. When you fall on the ground, you're not going to get stomped out. You're not going to get jumped by anybody because it's a felony offense, and who's going to want to catch a felony over a fight? It's not worth it.
It would be nice if most people in the world were honorable in that kind of way, where you can potentially get your ass whooped and then get up, shake hands, and walk away, and just live with the embarrassment of getting beat up by another person. It would be really nice, man. But that's like a dream world. That's a fantasy world because most people are pussies. If they get beat up, they're gonna want to retaliate in some kind of way. Not everybody, not everybody is like that. Some people could take an ass whipping like a man or give an ass whipping like a man. But I think that would be dope. I think that would be amazing, actually. That would be the world I want to live in. If I have problems with somebody, which I don't, I always get along with everybody. Like, me and you, I mean, we're the kind of people we get along with everybody. If you got a problem with
Yeah,
us, then you're just a fucktard, right?
yeah, 'cause we're
Um,
dope.
We're dope.
We're,
You
we're
know,
pretty
we're
cool.
dope. Make sure
Who
you
am
like and subscribe right now, baby. Right? Yeah, man. But yeah, I mean that would be dope. I would like to live in a world like that. But shout out to that guy dressing up as a superhero and actually laying down ass whoopings legally.
Hey,
Because you know he's a professional fighter, actually.
yeah. Hey, he be throwing them kicks too. I'm like, damn. Well, you get your
Yeah,
ass beat by the Cape Crusader. How you gonna
yeah,
explain it to your boys, man?
yeah, man. Yeah, that would suck, man. To get a real life ass whooping. You think you're tough. That's
Speaking
why
of
you
getting,
shouldn't fight if you can't fight people. Don't be going to bars, getting drunk, and getting in fights with the wrong guy that could lay you on your ass. And you never know. I mean, jujitsu is really popular these days too. Don't get twisted and tangled on the ground. I know I don't want to get put in the pretzel on the ground and you know left like this on the ground. Hey, somebody help!
funny story about that is one of my boys was telling me, and he also fights in MMA, and he
Uh-huh.
brought out his boy to a bar. I'm not gonna say which fighters were at the bar, but
Mhm.
his boy starts just getting drunk and starts running the mouth.
Probably the
And
Diaz
eh,
brothers. I'm just gonna guess that
no,
right now. It's probably the Diaz brothers. No.
no, nope, nope. And somebody comes up to the dude and they say, well, actually, they come up to my boy and they say, hey, your boy over here, he's running his mouth a lot. See all these dudes right here? Every one of them fight 8 hours a day at the gym.
Uh huh.
If your boy doesn't fight 8 hours a day at the gym, tell him to stop talking, please, because he's going to get beat up really bad. So my boy went and told him, hey, man, you got to stop talking, because the other dude didn't fight. He just run his mouth. He thinks he could fight, but these dudes fight all day long.
Yeah.
So you do have to be careful, to go with what you were saying. You have to be careful if you go to a bar or wherever you go, because you don't know. The smallest dude who looks like he can't fight probably will wrap you up real quick and choke you
Yeah.
out.
Uh huh.
Very possible. Speaking of fighting, real quick, because I know last time we didn't get the boxing
Mm-hmm.
too much. And speaking of ass whoopings, but Deontay Wilder, what's real quick? I don't mean to jump topics, but I want to get this out at some point. So if you can fit this in at some point, either now or later. But we
Well,
need to
I
talk
want you
about,
to finish the story about the guy at the bar.
okay,
I want you to finish that story, and then we'll get to
there,
that for
there
sure.
is nothing else. There is nothing else. That was it. He told him, hey,
Oh, okay.
all the dudes you're talking to fight for a living. They fight
Mhm.
8 hours a day. They train all the time. And that was it. He left. He said, come on, let's get out of here then. Because he got nervous. See, at that point, he thought he was big and bad. He didn't
Yeah.
realize everybody there fights. So, it is what it is.
So,
Obviously,
so the guy didn't try anything.
he
The guy
definitely didn't
get.
try it. He was done. It was over. It was over. And of
He
course,
was like, "All right, bet."
my boy and,
Because
and my boy said, well, I fight MMA, but dude, I have to fight everybody for him talking stuff. I'm not doing it. It ain't worth it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you know what? At the end of the day, it's not, and you got to get your boy out of there. You know how many times me and you went places to clubs
Mhm.
and we had to babysit somebody because they got too
Always.
drunk? Oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
I,
I've always played the peacemaker. Like whenever I had uh one of my boys was just getting too crazy and stuff and about to fight with a bunch of people, I got to go up to I got to tell my boy like, "Hey, chill the fuck out, man. What the like
hell,
I
I
don't
remember.
go out to get in fights. I
I
don't.
remember.
Yeah, I don't go out to get in fights, man. Like when I go out, I want to have a good time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna mention his name, but
I
dude was
know. We both
dude
know.
was pretty big, and he kept bumping into people at the club, and we're like, hey, bro, stop bumping into people because we gonna
Yeah.
have to fight, and you're super drunk.
Yeah,
You
we're
might
going to
not.
have to fight
Yeah,
and I don't want to fight with all these people, man, all these drunk guys. I want to,
man, we go to the
you
club
know.
for the for
Yeah.
the uh for the
For
uh
the
for the
drinks, for the drinks.
for
Yeah,
the water, the
for the
water on.
water. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
of course.
definitely not to look at butts. I mean,
I'm married.
not us. I mean, too. Yeah, I mean, never. Anyways,
Never.
anyway, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Do
So
you, do
Deontay
you always
Wilder
scratch when you
boxing.
lie?
What?
Do you always
What?
scratch when you lie? Do you always get nervous and scratch when
Always,
you lie? Okay.
I
All right. Yeah,
always
yeah.
make it obvious when
Me
I lie
too.
because I don't like to lie. I like to say the truth. So when I do lie, I make it obvious that I
Yeah.
lie so that people are like, "You're a fool,"
Yeah.
you But anyways, yeah, man. So
Deontay Wilder,
back to
man.
boxing.
Deontay
I mean,
Wilder.
a lot of boxing stuff going on. Deontay Wilder, what about him? You talking about his excuses?
Talking about he got axed out of fighting the Gypsy King. I heard that they told him no. Gypsy King is going to fight Anthony Joshua
Yeah.
next year, and Deontay's not going to get a third
Well,
shot.
it's because they didn't finalize the fight date in a timely manner. So like on the contract for the trilogy, for the rematch clause, they had to make it happen before a certain date, and they didn't. And it's probably, you know, some kind of strategy that they're using. And it seems like Deontay is living his best life right now. He's not really on social media much, but when he is, you know, he seems to be having a great time. And he's probably just enjoying the fruits of his labor right now. And I mean, hey, man, you know, regardless of what happened in the last fight, yes, he got beat, and he got beat really, really well by Fury. And regardless of all the cheating rumors with Fury and whatever allegations Deontay's making, I just want to watch good boxing, man. So when they get back
Yeah.
to it, they'll get back to it. So for now, if the talk is Fury versus Joshua, or whatever fight Fury's gonna do, that's what I'm looking forward to. I mean, I love boxing, man. So, you know,
Yeah.
whatever fights they give us, man, it's been a very uneventful
Oh,
boxing year.
boxing's been, oh
Well,
man, but lately it's been good.
it became more eventful like over the last
Correct.
month,
Yeah.
over the last month or two, you know, with Gervonta
Yes.
Davis and all these young fighters coming up, Teofimo winning the lightweight belts, you know, beating Lomachenko. I mean, there's a lot of exciting fights coming up, and this week is fight week for Terrence Crawford versus Brooke. I mean, I'm very excited to watch that. I mean, then we got Danny Garcia and
Earl
Earl
Spence,
Spence, you know, coming up, and then after that we got um um fucking
Anthony
Joshua
Joshua,
versus
Pulev.
Pulev.
Yep.
I mean, there's so many fights coming up. So I mean, it seems like 2020 is going to end off on a
2020.
high note for boxing. So I mean, I'm very excited about that. You know, me and you were both huge boxing fans, so can't wait for all these fights. I'm
Now,
super excited.
I know that Tank and Haney have been going back and forth online. Have you been seeing this?
Haney needs to chill because I don't know if he's ready for the
He's
likes
not.
of a
He's
Tank,
not ready for Tank, man.
because Tank is an absolute animal and he hits like a tank, for real,
Nasty.
for real. And Haney, the way he was looking against Gamboa, I mean, I don't know if maybe he was fighting Gamboa nicer than he had fought his previous fights, or if Gamboa just really still has that veteran skill and was able to take his punches. But I mean, just from the outside looking in, it looks like Haney doesn't have much power, and I don't think you can go into a fight as Haney with Gervonta without having power, because if Gervonta could walk through your punches, you better believe he's gonna walk right to that chin with
Oh,
a tremendous uppercut, and he'll take a shot to give a shot. And I don't think that's going to be good for Haney, for him to,
no.
go into a fight with Tank like that. He really needs to stop doing this swinging, leaping left hook that he's doing. There's no power in it. Like, you get power from legs. I don't understand how his dad isn't telling him that, because his dad is his trainer. Gosh, that would drive
Yeah.
me crazy as his trainer.
Here's the thing, though. I think out of all those fighters, I think Ryan Garcia is going to be the one to come out on top of anybody because he's got speed. He's definitely got power. And I think from watching his fights and watching Haney's fights, I think Ryan Garcia is going to hit a hell of a lot harder than Haney. And I don't think a
Yeah.
lot of people can take his punch. So and you know what? Shout out to Ryan Garcia for calling out the biggest names in the business. He ain't
Yeah.
scared of nobody.
Yeah.
He's ready. He's calling out the biggest names. So many fighters would run from Tank
Mm-hmm.
or
But he
Teofimo.
wants to fight all these
But
guys. Yeah.
did you see the sparring footage of Tank and Teofimo sparring each other? Did you happen to see that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I liked it. I mean, of
See it
course,
all,
people say
man.
we don't know when it, because they started filming. Obviously, they had already been sparring.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how many rounds they were in it already, but it just goes to show these guys already know what each other has to offer. So if they were to fight each other, it could be a really good fight.
Yeah, no, it could definitely be a really good fight. And also, I mean, all these guys need, I think they're going to fight each other, because I think a lot of these boxing suits, they realize another year like 2020, and they're never going to get these fights off. So I think 2021 is going to be a very eventful boxing year, because I think they're going to make all of these big fights happen. I think they're going to make, I
Come
think they're
on,
going to,
baby.
yeah, for real, for real. I think they're going to make, probably Tank and Teofimo at some point. I think they're going to make all of these lightweights fight each other, and they're going to see what happens. And Golden Boy actually has to get one of their fighters to become a star, because now that they lost Canelo, they're going to need Ryan Garcia to beat one of these top guys. They're going to need that for them to become, one of the top promotional companies again. I mean, Oscar De La Hoya is even talking about coming out of retirement to fight Maidana, and he's probably doing that because he's like, oh shit, I got all these employees to pay with
Right.
Golden Boy, and now my top dog just left, so now I'm not going to be getting all of that money from Canelo. He's going to
Ryan's
need
gonna be
a big
next.
fighter.
Ryan's
Ryan,
gonna leave next. I mean, come on, look, Ryan already had it
I
out
think
with
so
him
too.
already.
Yeah,
Ryan and Golden Boy already had it out. You remember that? Remember we did
yeah,
a episode about that.
yeah.
And
No,
so it's just a matter of time. The zone is gonna be done. The zone doesn't have anything. They're probably better off sticking to other sports besides trying to pay, boxers
they
this
have the
amount of.
worst broadcast of boxing. I mean,
Well, it
it's
looked boring.
terrible.
The Haney fight looked boring there. The crowd didn't even
They
make.
couldn't even put
But
crowd noise in there. Like at least PBC
look,
and Fox, when there's no fans in the crowd, they put crowd noise in there.
look, when Tank fought, it was noisy. There was people
It was
there.
an event
It
still,
was an
even
event.
even
Boy,
with
man,
social
was jumping up and
distancing
down.
and
Yes, there was so much going on. But with the zone one, I thought I was watching it in the living room, like
yeah.
in a living room. It was,
I know what you mean. It was extremely boring. And then on top of that, Haney was fighting Gamboa with the most pillowed fist of all time, so that made it boring too. And I mean, we were
yeah,
falling asleep watching that fight. And I'm such a huge boxing fan. They have so much respect for boxing that I would never just clown on somebody being a good defensive fighter and all that. But he was getting hit by Gamboa, right?
yeah.
So
I
it was
actually, I
still
was like,
just
man,
boring.
I was like, maybe I'll go live and stream myself talking about the fight. But the fight was so boring, I couldn't even
Mhm.
go live because what would I say?
Dude, I
There
was
wasn't
falling
nothing.
asleep.
There wasn't nothing to say.
My wife did fall asleep. She fell asleep. Even my daughter, she loves boxing, and she was like, "This is a boring fight,
Yeah,
Dad," and
I mean,
started
look,
watching the
look.
tablet.
I don't want to take anything away from Haney. Haney's a very good fighter. Haney, you are a great fighter. There's no ifs, ands, or
I don't
buts
know
about.
about great. I don't know
Okay,
about
no, no. Let's be honest.
he's
Okay,
he's top
okay,
he's top
okay. He's top.
10,
Okay,
top 10 lightweights. Yeah.
maybe great was too big of a word. All right, he's a good fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nothing against him whatsoever on that aspect of things. But when you put it out there that you're gonna knock somebody out all over the place, you're gonna put them down, you're gonna do this and that. My man, you got to go in there throwing lightning bolts and thunder every
Yeah.
round because you can't put it out there. You're going to knock him out 4 times or whatever he said, and
Mm-hmm.
then nothing's happening.
Yeah.
You hit
Yeah.
him. You hit him with the sleep number 1 and 2.
Yeah. I mean, you're definitely not going to be the star amongst the five most popular lightweights if you're not going to put a 39-year-old to sleep. I mean, I'm just saying. I
Yeah,
mean, look at Tank, man. He's getting these vicious knockouts against good fighters like Leo Santa Cruz, and then you got Ryan Garcia. He may not be fighting the most top competition available, but at least he's giving you exciting fights. That's giving him star power. And then you got Teofimo knocking people out left and right, and then he beats Lomachenko. I mean, these guys. Oh, and then Lomachenko, of course, he's amongst that top 5 lightweight division still, even though he lost to Teofimo. But I mean, even he has got this excitement to him. So I mean, for Haney, I
yeah,
mean, you gotta add some seasoning to that
yeah.
food you're cooking there, and that's just
Yeah,
that's
because
just what it is.
if Lomachenko would have sped it up and started in round 3 or 4 instead of round 6 or ending 6 and going into 7 and then picking up the pace. If he
Yeah,
would have done it from round 3 on, who knows, man? I mean, he would have had a hell of a lot better chance. That's
yeah,
for sure.
hmm absolutely.
All right,
Well,
sorry to get off topic on that, man. I just had to get that in
no,
there
I
because
mean,
honestly, I
there
feel
is no topic. We're just
yeah,
shooting the shit. At the end of the
I
day.
know, man. I
You know,
just
we we
I
we
wanted to get
go
a
we
little
go into
boxing in.
boxing, and we can go on and on with boxing. So nah, I hear you, man. Well, shoot, Cuzzo, I think that's enough for today's episode.
Yes, sir. I agree, man. I think it was good. I think we definitely got some points in there, and hopefully people liked what we had to talk about. And at the end of the day, leave a comment below. Let us know what you would like us to talk about. If there's a particular thing that you're interested in knowing what we think, we will get back to you ASAP and make a video of it. So like, subscribe, and hit
And
us
check
up, man. We're cool.
check back in with us next Wednesday. This is every week podcast. So every Wednesday you can expect a new audio to pop up on Spotify, on Anchor, Google Podcasts, whatever one that you use. And also the video to this podcast is always on YouTube, baby. Well, the Buzzo Cuzzo. I always say that backwards. Holler at us. We'll see you next week. We'll talk to you next week.
Yee.
Yeah.